You can hear me? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so I switched over. No, I don't know. My mic's not working, so I switched over to the laptop mic, which is not as good. So let's roll with this, and hopefully it's good. So take three. Let's rewind everything back. I turned the music off because I was frustrated and I want to make sure you guys hear me, and I know you guys were saying that you were hearing something weird before, which is not ideal. So let's try this all again. First of all, thank you everybody who has come in to watch the winners for today's giveaway. Thank you for your incredible patience working with me through these technical difficulties. Every single time you stream, it's always, something interesting with that. It's never perfect. So I do appreciate your patience and working through those glitches and hiccups. It means a lot. But first of all, I want to say again, thank you to everyone who participated in this giveaway. It was such an amazing show. We got 35 entries, which is just completely unbelievable. And it made picking three winners so tough. Honestly, I think I picked the last winner within the last 10 minutes because I kept going back and forth for one of the houses. So that's how steep and close the competition was. So I just want to let you guys know everybody did such an amazing job. And you definitely did not make my job easy for any of these houses. So kudos to all of you, and everybody gets a clap and a pat on the back for doing such good work. So good. But I just want to reiterate as far as this challenge for the giveaway, because I did get a couple questions on the last stream's video about how many codes I'll be giving out. There'll be three winners, one winner for each house. So I'll be giving away 3 codes for this giveaway. And if you win today, you'll get the Dream Home giveaway code. I'll need for you to friend me on Origin so I can gift it to you. You'll have to have the pack favorited on your wish list, then I could gift it to you. So after stream, if you aren't following me on Origin and you win, go ahead and follow me on Origin, and that way I can gift it to you on Origin. And then if you did already get the pack and you won, because I know it's been several weeks since the pack came out and a lot of people caved and just got it anyway, understandable. You are able to request a different pack in its place. So if not this pack, do put in your wish list the game pack you do want. And if you're in the position where you have the pack and there's not another game pack that you want and you win, I am willing to honor you passing on your good fortune to another friend of yours in the community who you know wants specifically the Dream Home Decorator pack. It has to be specifically that pack, not another game pack. So if you have another friend in the community you'd like to gift it to, if you won and you don't have another game pack that you'd like, let me know who that person is and I'll make sure and get the code to them in your name. How's just you passing on your good fortune and your win. So with that out of the way, I am going to go ahead and let you guys know the winner. So we're going to start out with house number 1. So this one is the country cottage. I already placed one of the houses down. Anyway, it was the one I initially built in Willow Creek, where let's go back over the rules so that everybody's on the same page for this. Everybody is refreshed on what you had to do for the challenge of this house. So for this house, Dream Home Decorator, house number 1, you have to finish the house. You can't change the floor plan. You can't change the wallpaper / flooring, the outside, the exterior. You can on the inside, and I did eventually make that caveat that if you didn't have a pack I used on the outside, you were able to replace any items that the game kind of like replaced or wasn't able to fill in because you don't have that pack. So that was a caveat for that. You could fix my roof issues. That's one thing you could fix. And the second floor plan was yours to do with what you learned. And honestly, the goal for this house was just to finish the house. There was no budget, and so it did give you guys a whole lot of room to play around and really show off your talent. I know this was a huge house, so I'm just really blown away by the work that you guys did on this one, because I know this one was pretty challenging. So without all said and done, I do want to go ahead and give you the short list for who I narrowed it down to for this house. So my short list for house number 1 for the winners was Miyawaki, Otab_C, and Kitty Rivers, and Garlia X. And I like narrowed it down to 3 or 4, or 4 to 5 for each house. I think it was 5 for the second house, and then the first and the third one, it was like 3 to 4, because there were less entries. So that's the short list for the houses that I narrowed it down to for the first house. And just to refresh you guys' memory on what those houses look like, I am going to go ahead and just drop them down on the slot so you guys can see these amazing houses and why I picked them for my short list for this house. So the first house was Miyawaki's, and she had a story with hers. She says, right by the Willow Creek Canal lies the Burns house, an old family treasure passed down to Juanita Byrne by her father, who was the captain of the ferry boat that transported many people to Magnolia Promenade. Now a retired teacher with a fortune, Juanita adopted 3 kids, Meredith, the teenager, Rakesh, the young active boy, and Nora, the devilish toddler. In hopes of passing down her knowledge, she teaches them about art and the world as she knows it. So we're going to go ahead and place it so you guys can see what an amazing job. Oh, I didn't place. What an amazing job that... Oh, is this already placed? Hold on, let me go into it. But I want you guys to see what an amazing job Miyawaki did with this house, and you understand why I picked her for my short list. We're gonna wait for that to load, and while that's doing, I'm gonna catch up on the chat. Everybody's so nervous. Don't be nervous. Everybody did so good. Hi, King's Family Gaming. How are you? I don't know if you're still in here. Hi, Arta. Hi. Hi, Gustavo. Hi, Goldie. Hi. I think it's everybody. You guys being nervous is making me nervous. Oh, hi, darling. I miss darling. I don't know. Mine says the price is so high when I only set my money on screen sub big K, and it said it was that when I posted it. I decided to go with for the houses that had, well, the second house had the price limit, right? And because there was discrepancies between the gallery price and the price when you put it on the lot, I decided to go with what the price was in the gallery and go by that. And I think going by the gallery prices, all the ones that were like kind of over when you placed them weren't anymore. So I kind of leveled the playing field for that. But for the most part, everybody did pretty good staying in budget for the second house. So let's go inside so you guys can see Miyawaki's, and I'm going to let you guys know why she's on my short list for this house. Let's see, that one is my favorite. It's such a good house. It's such a good house. Honestly, you guys made it really, really hard for me to narrow it down, because honestly, everybody who made it onto the short list for all the houses could easily have won the pack. And so it just makes it, it made it so difficult for me to pick. But everything, this is just so well put together. And honestly, this wallpaper right here is my favorite wallpaper from Paranormal Pack. And like, I haven't played with the pack at all, but the build buy items for it are just so perfection. Just the story, I love. Some of you guys included stories for your houses, which I so appreciated because they were so fun, and it was so fun seeing how the story tied into the house, and you can just see it really come together. And so for this house, the story is tied in so well with the layout. It just looks so perfection. There's everything about it so good. This outdoor area spot right here, I think, was my favorite backyard spot in these entries for this house. This area back here, just like the way it's sectioned off like this for the kids, is so good. And then you can just tell, like, the story just comes to life once you start looking through the rooms, and I so appreciate it. And this too, which when I was scrutinizing this on the Saturday after stream, when I was looking at the details off the screen, I noticed that some of you guys included pictures in your like family pictures in your builds, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so clever. And this was one of the houses that did it. There's another house that did it too that I'll show you guys. And I was like, this is just such a good personal touch. I love it. So you can clearly see why Miwasaki's was one of the ones in the short list. Everybody give Miwasaki a round of applause. She did so good, or they did so good. Let me know your pronouns. I don't want to miss a pronoun anybody. But we're gonna go ahead and look at the next person on the short list for house number 1, and that person is Otab_C. And Otab submitted a house for all 3 of them, and they were just all so good. You could tell the amount of effort that they put into decorating and building. Well, let's be for real, for this one it's like mostly building because it's so unfinished. But it's just so good. The level of detail, I can tell the amount of work they put into this. For everybody who submitted a house for all 3, just extra kudos to you, because I know especially for the first and third house, it's just so much work. So this is Otab's house, and let me just double check to see if he had a story for it, because I want to read that to you if he did. Okay, so it's just a French country inspired mansion. And I believe Otab has, as far as like landscaping, I think he had my favorite landscaping. It's kind of cutting off a little bit because I believe Otab let me know that they built it on a bigger lot than 40 by 30, but you can still kind of like get a feel for what it was supposed to look like. And honestly, Otab's landscaping is enviable. I wish I could landscape like they do. I cannot. But it's just, the inside's so very clean. You can just tell everything is just so expensive looking in here, which it's a French mansion, so of course, like, you've got, like, it's gotta look expensive. It just looks very prim and proper, and like the people who live here are very upper crust, and we love to see it. We love to see it. So that is Otab's house, and it's so, like I told you, the landscaping in this house for this house is my favorite out of all the ones I've seen, and I wish I could landscape like this. It's just so pretty. So that is Otab's entry. Everybody give Otab a hand. Give him a round of applause, or them a round of applause. They deserve it. And we're gonna go and look at the next house on my short list, which is Kitty Rivers. And Kitty Rivers, we're gonna go ahead. Okay, there's no story for this one, so we're just gonna place it. And Kitty Rivers, I think, submitted the most unique display for this house. I'm like searching for the word for it. Their take on it was the most original out of anybody's who submitted one for the house. And it was just so interesting. It made me wish that they had a story with the house, because it just made, like, me looking at it, I looked at this several times, and it's like, I get like the feel that whoever lives in this house, they're moneyed, but they're like moneyed in a sense where like they were the odd person that no one wanted to hang around in, like the upper crust society that they hung out in, but they're still, you know, very wealthy. They're like it's like somebody's kooky rich aunt lives here. And just to give you a sense, like that's the story I'm going with. So you look inside here, and it's like, oh, this is so good. Like this wallpaper, this is good. Like all these details are so, it's like it's stuff I never would have thought to put together, but it tells like a story. Even though it didn't come with a story, it tells a story. When you look through it all, it's like somebody's kooky rich aunt lives here, and you can see like how eccentric they are from the landscaping choices. Like everybody in this neighborhood probably has like very prim and proper hedge bushes and flowers in their garden that are just like all the same color. Now this person likes very colorful tropical looking plants, and the HOA probably complains about it because it doesn't match the rest of the houses in the neighborhood. But you can tell like maybe this person inherited this mansion from a family member, and so you can see like the very rich and lush touches in here, like the wallpaper and some of the designs. But you can see how like she came in here and it's like, no, I'm gonna make this my own, and throw in some kooky flares like this like detail on the floor here and this bed. And you know, you head downstairs and we're gonna put all of, you know, just little touches that kind of make it slightly off, you know what I mean? The one thing I probably would change is just in this office area, I probably would have got rid of these extras bookcases, so that just like an open entrance to this table. Other than that, like, it would be so fun to like create the Sim that lives here and play in this house. It's just, you know, I just love the hidden story in all of this. But we're gonna go to the last person who made the short list for house number 1, and I was pronouncing their name incorrectly when I did the original tour on stream. I was pronouncing it Gorilla because my dyslexic behind. I'm not really dyslexic, but sometimes you'll see like the configuration of letters and you'll kind of just like make up what it is in your mind, and that's not actually what it is. So in my mind I saw the G and the R and the L and the IA and thought it was gorilla, because you know that's clearly not it. It's Garlia X. They were very kind and gracious to kind of say actually it's pronounced this way on Twitter, so thank you. But Garlia is the last person who made this short list. And their story is, this is a large family that lives in this house, a business mother who likes to cook, a sporty interior designer father, a grandmother who likes to knit and garden, and troublemakers, sporty twins, a teen girl who likes music and painting, a beautiful big old, I think something's missing out. But you get the idea. So we're going to go ahead and place this one so you guys can see why I chose this one for the short list. And after we see this house, I will drum roll and tell you guys who won. So let's catch up on chat while this places. Everybody's really loving how these look. Everybody, and all of them are gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous. It's all gorgeous. Okay, so this is the last house. So this is Garlia's, who also had very lush looking landscaping on their version of my house. And let's go inside so that you can see how their story comes together for this house. So you could kind of see that like an artist lives in this house by the color choices. It's very bright. So this one's actually a little bit different than some of the other ones, especially the ones that leaned into like a rich person lives here, because you can see like the artsy vibes. Instead of it being so many bright neutrals, there's more, you know, darker like chocolate tones throughout this house, which I can appreciate. And it just looks so good. It kind of gives you the impression that these people didn't come from money, but maybe like through their professions they accumulated a little bit of wealth that afforded them this house, but they're probably like more used to living in like a middle income suburban neighborhood, and they've moved on up. But this is the upstairs area. You can see how like some of these more chocolate tones carried up and through, and it's just got like a very like muted, and what's the word, like muted's not right, but just like very like lo-fi. I may not be right either. But it's so good. But that is Garlia's house. So those are the short lists, and just to remind you who made the short list again, it was Miyosaki, Otov_C, Kitty Rivers, and Garlia X. But we are going to do like a drum roll here, and you guys feel free to put into the chat who you think won, but I'm going to drum roll and then announce the winner. So the winner is I know that's probably annoying, so let me know if it is. Okay, and so the winner is Kitty Rivers. Da, 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 da. Congratulations, Kitty. And so I chose Kitty's house because Kitty's take was just so original. And like I was saying when I was touring Kitty's house, it's the one house that, and this is kind of like how I decided for all three houses who should win. Which house would I be the most excited to play in? A, and B, which house would I have to change the least to enjoy playing in it? And I was all like, it would be so fun to play in Kitty's house. It just would. Like the story I just came up with on the fly that like a really eccentric person lives here. I would be interested in playing it out and seeing how she played off of maybe the more like buttoned up people in this area. For instance, this house is in Willow Creek. So imagine how somebody as eccentric as the person who lives in this house would mix it up with like an Eliza Pancakes, you know what I mean? Or, you know, would she find a way to get in good with Bella Goth, or like what would that look like? And so I kept on coming back to this house. It's like, okay, this one has to win. So congratulations, Kitty. Like I said, go ahead and friend me on Origin. You could do that now, or if not, I'll go ahead and friend you after stream. And make sure you have favorited either Dream Home Decorator or the game pack you would like. And I will gift it to you. If you already have the pack and there's not another game pack you want, please follow me on Twitter and then DM me and let me know if there's somebody you would like me to gift Dream Home Decorator to, and we will work out how to get them that game code pack. And if you aren't following me on Twitter and you don't know my handle on Twitter is it's OBGem. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat for you guys in case you guys don't know what it is, but at it's OBGem is my handle on Twitter. So head on over to Twitter if you win and if you need to reach out to me to DM me for gifting the Dream Home Decorator pack to somebody else, then that is where you will want to reach me. But and also, you guys, just because I want to kind of keep this moving, you have 24 hours to reach out to me and let me know about ranging for the pack. Otherwise, I'll move on down the short list and give it to whoever is in second place for that. And again, like, if you're on the short list for this, go ahead and just friend me now, because if someone doesn't respond to their win within 24 hours, the chances of you being the next person on the list at this point is like, what, 1 in 3 after we cross off the winner. So just go ahead and friend me now and we'll get that taken care of. But we're going to go ahead and move on to house number 2, and I will announce the short list for that so you guys can see that. But yeah, it was definitely super difficult to choose somebody for the win for that house. You guys did not make it easy. Okay, so let's head on over to Newcrest, where I have the lot where I plop the second house. And before we head over to the lot, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into the gallery, and we're going to revisit the rules to this house so that you guys remember what those were. So for this house, you had the 26,000 simoleon budget. You can change any and all the furniture on the interior, as well as any of the decorative wall items, such as the wallpaper, well, any type of the decorations. You can change the wallpaper, you can change the floors, and you could change any of the items inside the house. The only thing you couldn't change in the house was you couldn't change the landscaping, and you couldn't change the layout. So because this house had the most entries, it was super important for me to make sure that everybody in the running followed the rules. So unfortunately, if you went over budget, then you were just automatically disqualified. So there were a few in there that had houses in the 30,000 range. And like I said, for this house, I went by whatever the value of the house was in the gallery, not the value of the house when I placed it, to make it a little bit more fair, because I know there was like discrepancies between price in the gallery versus price when you place it. So if you went over the 26,000 simoleon budget and and it was way, and the ones I disqualified were like way over, just to make that clear. So like if you were like a little bit over 26, 27, I gave you a little bit of grace, just because I know that sometimes when you're building, for some reason, like the number is not always accurate. So there was a little bit of grace there, but the ones I disqualified were like in the 30 to 40,000s. They were way over, so there was no way a house priced at like 30 some simoleon, or 30,000 some simoleons, or 40 some thousand simoleons was magically 26 when they built it. So those ones, unfortunately, I had to disqualify, and I had to disqualify any houses that completely changed the floor plan, because that was another one of the rules, that you couldn't change the floor plan. So if you knocked out walls and, you know, did anything of that, then I had to disqualify you. And it wasn't to be mean to anybody, it was just to make it fair, because, you know, there were a lot of entries for this one, and a lot of people followed the rules as they were laid out, and it wouldn't really be fair to those people to consider somebody who, you know, went way over budget and knocked out a bunch of walls, because that, you know, that wasn't the challenge. So that is what I went with. Let me look at chat. Oh, I think I know why my price went up. Of course, you include the windows and outside wallpapers. Oh, okay. Yeah, that can happen. But anyway, my short list for house number 2 were Miyawaki again. Miyawaki did really, really good, because you made another short list. So round of applause for Miyawaki. Tatiana Marquez 10, Anna Sim, and Garlia X. So round of applause for everyone who made the short list. It was very, very hard. Oh, actually I missed somebody. There was one more, Otab_C. I had 5 people for this one, because this one had, I believe, like 15 entries, and it was so hard to narrow it down, so my short list was longer. So those 5 individuals had my favorite houses for this one. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at Miwasaki's first. And Miwasaki's has the most darling story with their house. She said, or they say, the couple that lives in this house is rather famous. Both of them are on Teen Sim Moms 3, a hit reality TV show. Always privileged. Anaya, and Johnny Puckett are now living by themselves and wanted me to renew their home for the new season of the show. The problem was they had a 26,000 simoleon budget. Since both of them are hippie wannabes, that is what I came up with. They can paint and garden while raising their beautiful baby, Dora. So I love the story for this one. It literally, like, reading your stories for all of your entries was so good, because there's so much thought put into it, and I love how you kind of like cosplayed as like the decorator, the Dream Home Decorator, and in every single one you stayed in character. I loved it. So we're gonna go ahead and sneak in and look in on Miwasaki's, and Miwasaki's had my favorite outside for the home. So obviously for this house, I forgot to mention this, but you weren't meant to change the landscaping, but you could add any type of like furniture to the outside, so like playground equipment for kids or anything like that. I even allowed for you guys to include like debug fences. Somebody had asked about that, so you could add those things. You just couldn't change the landscaping or any of that. But the outside things that she added to this house were just so good, and as I just like read in her story, the two are like artsy and like artists, so you can kind of see in the outside, like this is like their little hippie band, which is so cute. And then Like, of course they would have like a wash tub and a clothesline for their laundry. Of course they wouldn't have a washer and dryer in the house. And you could just imagine that, you know, that they come out here and paint on their easel, and for when the kids grow up, for them to swing on the swing set. It's just so darling. I love it. And this was the other house I was referring to that had like family pictures, and I missed this when I toured it on stream, that these pictures were here, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good. But I don't know, the story just, like, I love how the stories you guys came up with, because you can just really see them in this house. And this looks like it's missing the bassinet that was in here. It's actually not. I have a bassinet override in my game, so that's what this is. It's meant to have the EA bassinet in there, so just use your imagination. It's there. But this was just so darling and so cute, and I love that the birth. I'm wondering now in my mind if this is the actual birth certificate that they got when they gave birth to the baby, or if you just got this out of debug. If you're in chat, just let me know that, because I'm curious. But this is Miwasaki's home. Don't do this, I think, like, there's some items missing, I think, from the live edit. Oh, I looked at it, when I looked at it on stream, I turned everything on, so I was able to see the live edit ones. I could do that right now. I wish that it would just, this stuff would just be on now. Show hidden objects. bb.show live edit objects. I tend to just prefer to have them off though, because I have so much build by CC in my game that, like, if I just automatically turn it on, then it slows my build mode down like a lot. So that was Miwasaki's. We can replace it just to see, so you guys can see everything that is missing. Come on, build mode. Okay. So it should, assuming nothing got cut off from being on like the property line, we should be able to see everything now. Everything should be in here now. Let's go back downstairs. But like I said, this house is just so darling, and this entertainment room setup, the simplicity, we love it. That was Miwasaki's. So good. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next person who made the short list, which is Tatiana Marquez 10. And she didn't have a story, so we're just gonna place it and you guys can see why I chose their home. Yes, I'm trying my best, Goldie. I'm sorry. So we're gonna head inside the house, because honestly what really grabbed me for this house is the color scheme. It's so bright in here. Like, I don't know, for some reason the color scheme just kind of made me think that, like, it's like an old school, like, Indian family that lives here. Like, it gave me that feel. And this, honestly, this decal, the bathroom, is one of my favorite details in this. It just feels like this house, they made this house look like it was a little bit older when they moved in, and they kind of tried to make it its own, but like maybe it's like a 30-year-old house, and like you could see the wear, but the wear gives it some charm. So I'm gonna actually duplicate some of these lights in here because they were turned off in here. I don't have the mod where you can edit the lights in build mode, but no worries, we can improvise. But yeah, honestly, it really was the color scheme. Like, it kind of like, it's really crazy the way that, like, changing the colors you use in the house can really kind of change the character and flavor. So it just seems like maybe this was an older house that like an Indian family lived in, and they tried to make it homey and made it their own. And they're a pretty sizable family, so it's like a tight crunch. As you can see, like in this bedroom it's probably like a child and a toddler, and then like a mom and dad is in there, so it's probably like a tight fit for them all to be in here. And but this is what they could afford, and they made it their own. But I love the color scheme. Like even like this detail over here where the cabinets over here are yellow and these ones are white, maybe they were in the middle of like changing the colors around in this to refurb with what little money they had this kitchen, and they just ran out of the yellow paint, so this is still like white. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they're in the middle of transforming this kitchen into something a little less bright, and they started with these cabinets and just haven't finished yet. But it's just so good. But that is, why isn't there my house? I'm not sure what you mean, Tia. Is this your house, or are you asking why aren't we showing your house? You're gonna have to let me know. I'm not sure what you mean. But that is that was Tatiana Marquez 10's house. So the next house on the short list was Anna Sims, and I actually follow Anna on Twitter and was able to see a preview of what they did with this house then, because they posted some screenshots. The screenshots didn't do it justice, because honestly, like, seeing it up close is just so much better. So this just, again, like, you guys just managed to make this house seem so charming, but like honestly, like she just made this feel super homey. Just super homey on a budget. And honestly, like, the color scheme that Anna used here is very close to the color scheme I typically go for, especially in smaller homes. I'll tend to go for like light colors and browns and like just like different like spots of color. And the eco lifestyle furniture is just so perfect for this house. This bookcase is so good. A simple little bathroom area over here. No, I mean that in your library there isn't. See, oh, I downloaded the shortlist homes and put them in my gallery. So what you're seeing in my gallery is not all the entries. This is just what I downloaded so that I had the shortlisted houses easy to pull from without having to dig through all the entries in the gallery. If you go to the gallery, all the entries are still there. So for house number 2, all the entries are still here. There was just so many of them, I didn't want to be like digging through them during stream. So I downloaded all the shortlisted ones before stream, so that I could just easily plop them down without having to search. So if you were looking through and you were wondering like, where's my entry? I definitely entered it and I only see 4 houses there. It's not because there was only 4 entries, it's just because in my library I downloaded all the ones that were shortlisted. So that's the reason. But anyway, I'm gonna show you guys the top floor and an accent wall. I love to see it. And this is like furniture items that like I never use, like this chair. I completely forget it's in the game half the time. I tend to like think that this bed looks cheap, but somehow Anna made it look expensive by the different furnishings in this room. And just like, it just seems like they breathe new life into like certain base game decorative items that you kind of put them in and you think, I don't know like how good this looks, but then this is essentially just a testament to how good you can make things look with just like placing them well. And I think that's what Anna excelled the most in with this house. But that is Anna Sims entry. And the next item on the short list is Garlia X. So I know we already, like, Garlia made the short list for the first one, and he was another person that also submitted a house for all 3, and the level of work and detail was just completely amazing. And so you could definitely tell I just love Garlia, their landscaping. I wish Oh shoot, the door was there before. I definitely have BB.move objects on. Why is my door missing? Hold on. BB.move objects. Okay, never mind. No, I didn't. I didn't have it on. I'm like, why is my door missing? This is absurd. My door should not be missing. Alright. It's gonna replace it and the door should be there now. There we go. I can't believe I've been placing houses without BB.move objects on this entire time. For shame. But beautiful, beautiful terrain paint. So they added terrain paint. But I believe, I don't know, for some reason, the stuff you added to the backyard, I said, oh, you're landscaping, but this is my landscaping. You just made my landscaping look like 1,000 times better by the terrain paint you added to the backyard. Yeah, that's how much I rate my landscaping. I just automatically think it's bad. But this is Garlia's entry, and again, I feel like the Eagle Lifestyle furniture was just like made to be in this particular build because it just looks so good. I like the green color scheme in here, and it's just so good. I think this bottom floor is like my favorite all around. And then the upstairs, you have the kids' room and then the parents' room, and it's just good. Is this a picture we have in game? Hold on. Oh, it's probably out of debug. It's just so good. But this is Garlia, and they just did an amazing job. It just looks so cozy and so homey and so charming, and we love to see it. So that was Garlia's house. Let me see. So we did Miyazaki, Tatiana, Anna Sims. Otob is our last entry for the shortlist, and Otob also submitted a house for all three and did such an amazing job on all of their houses. But we're going to take a look at this, the second house. You guys can see the amazing job they did. So they added a debug fence along the edge of this one. And was that tree there before? Yeah, I think I did put that tree there. I don't know, you guys just make my landscaping look so different when you add terrain paint, because I'm like, that doesn't look like mine. But the way they made the inside of the house look, it's like this belongs in like San Myshuno with the exposed brick accent walls. I'm like, this doesn't even look like it belongs in Willow Creek. This is like a townhouse that belongs in San Myshuno. Except it might look a little bit too suburban-y for that house lot in San Myshuno, but the inside gives that vibe. And I love the green and yellow swatch for this bed. It's just so good, and I love how you kind of stuck with that theme. This kid's bedroom, out of all the bedrooms for the second house, this kid's bedroom is actually my favorite one, just because of this accent wall with the trees and the clouds. It's just so perfect. It's perfect. So that is Otav's entry for house number 2. And so those were all the entries for the shortlist. Everybody give everybody a round of applause who made the shortlist. Just to remind you of who that was. It was Miyazaki, Tatiana Marquez 10, Anna Sims, Garlia X, and Otab_C. And without further ado, the winner of the code for house number 2 is... I know that's annoying. I'm gonna keep doing it. And the winner is... Anna Sim. So the reason why I went with Anna Sim's house, and this, like I reiterate, picking one house for all of these was very difficult. But I literally had to think about, for every single house I picked, which house would I want to play in and would I have to change the least with if I was going to play in. And Anna Sim, the whole house, the whole aesthetic was something I would want to play in and would probably not change any of it. I would just play in it as is. and it's so good. Whereas there was definitely elements of all the other houses that I really enjoyed, but then there were always drawbacks with some of them where it's like, oh, I really like that room, but I wish they might have did this with that room. I really like this, but I wish they would have tweaked that. I love this one piece, but like not this one as much. Whereas with Anna's house, I didn't have that thought. Everything just really came together where it's like I could play in this house just the way it is, and every room is just like perfect the way it is. So, congratulations, Anna. If you are not following me on Origin, go ahead and follow me on Origin. Favorite Dream Home Decorator, or add Dream Home Decorator to your wish list, or the game pack you would like for me to send to you. If you already have the pack and there's not another game pack that you would like in its place, but there is someone you'd like to have your Dream Home Decorator game code in your place, we're already following each other on Twitter, so just DM me on Twitter and we can arrange to make sure that that person gets their game code. But congratulations, Anna. And just so you guys know, because I know that there's a lot more people following me on Twitter than on my YouTube, and there are a lot of people who may not have been able to make this stream, I will be just reiterating all the winners on Twitter so that if you follow me there and you participated in the contest, you can see if you won, if you haven't gotten a chance to watch this playback or you're not in chat right now. But that is house number 2, some winners. So let's go ahead and head on to the last house. I'm on game. Okay, so we're gonna head on over for the house, our last house, to Brindleton Bay, because that is where I initially built the house. And we're gonna do just like with the other two and just reiterate the rules just to refresh you guys on what you had to do for this last house challenge. So, for house number 3, you had to furnish and decorate the house, add landscaping and any outdoor furniture / activities. Don't change the exterior decor materials, but you can change / fix the roof. So this one was like probably the most like go balls to the walls with, you know, decorating the inside, although there was a very stringent floor plan you had to change. So unfortunately, if you submitted a house for this challenge and you changed the floor plan, I had to disqualify you just to be fair to everybody. And just to get it out of the way, when we were looking at houses on stream, we looked at Otob, and Otob, your house was just absolutely breathtaking. But I unfortunately had to disqualify your house because you moved the kitchen, and so I couldn't count you for the win for this one. But I just want to put that out because technically, Otob, you were on my short list, but you are technically not in the running because you moved the house. So we're going to move on to everyone else who was on the short list, which was Garlia X and Miwasaki. I had 2 for this one because there wasn't that many who submitted one for this one, and my third was Otob, and theirs was technically disqualified. So, but everyone gave Otob a round of applause because the house was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna place Garlia X's house first. And we're gonna place it over here because that is where it is. Why isn't it placed? Oh, okay. This was the house that was larger than the... Okay, this was the house that was larger than the lot. Okay, Hound's Head, we're gonna get rid of you just for right now. Sorry, Hound's Head. But at least now we'll get to see it because Garlia let me know on Twitter that some stuff got cut off when I was looking at their house on stream on Saturday because they built it on a larger lot. I built the shell on a 40 by 30, but I think they built it on a 50 by 40, so there were some things that got cut off. That is a lesson learned for me for the next time I do one of these giveaways, and it's a build design challenge, to make sure to specify in the rules what lot size to build it on. That way there's no issues with things getting cut off. So if I do a build challenge in the future, which I just may do that because this was fun, make sure to do that so that everybody's building on the same size lot and there's no issue of, oh no, this is not showing up because it was cut off or whatnot. But in my mind, this was meant to be built on a 40 by 30. I think it said in the gallery what size lot it was supposed to be on too, but I can understand if some of you guys had missed that. So let's go ahead and we're going to look at Garlia's house, and you can see why it made the short list. Anytime now, Sims 4. I assumed we had to build them on the original lot. That was my intention. I think it may not have been clear though. That's what it was. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if it says, I'm like assuming, but I'm pretty sure on the gallery it says what lot it was built on. If it doesn't say, then it definitely tells you, I know for sure it tells you the size lot that it was built on. So if you look at it in the gallery, it should say 40 by 30. But this is just, look at it, you guys. It's just gorgeous. And I remember when I was looking at it initially on stream, I mentioned that this house had just like the colors reminded me of my favorite color, which is purple. So I would totally want to live here. And the gallery art, which I didn't look at on stream because we were going pretty fast. Is this gallery art, or is it just someone made the paintings? Someone made the paintings. It's so good. It's just absolute perfection. And this one, I was the most impressed with everyone who talked with this house, because to me, outside of house number 1, which was a journey, this one was pretty challenging too. I think maybe the first one might have been a bit more challenging because the second floor was wrecked. So you kind of had to like really pull that one together. But it's good. It's good. That's all I can say. It's good. So everybody give a round of applause to Garlia, because their house is just absolute perfection, and you could clearly see why it was picked for the short list. And then the next house we have on our short list is Miyazaki, which everybody give like a really long applause for Miyazaki and Garlia and Ota, because those three, I believe, were the ones that submitted houses for all three, which I can't even imagine the amount of time and effort it took to do all three. That's really so incredible, and I want to mention that. And honestly, like before we tour Miyazaki's house, I do want to say part of the reason me showcasing my short list is so that even for the ones that didn't win the code, I want you guys to go onto the gallery and follow all of these incredible people, because they have just shown what amazing builders and designers they are, and they deserve follows and downloads on the gallery. So for everybody I've mentioned in the stream so far, go to the gallery, follow them. You got their information on the screen right here, so they're not hard to find. But go ahead and give them a follow, because they deserve it. But the fences outside are hidden. Are they? I have no idea. Quite possibly. My game's not cooperating. Oh, I'm seeing what you mean. It's like cut off there. I don't know. See, I think what happens sometimes, and I'm not like 100% sure on it, but what happens sometimes with when you're placing houses with BB.move objects, and I got this tip from Really, Asbury Games on Twitter and YouTube. If you guys know Really, she is good people. Go ahead and follow her on Twitter and Twitch, where she streams, and give her a sub on YouTube, because she's just good people. But I know like several months ago she mentioned how when you place houses with BD.move objects, you've got to enter the code when you're on the lot and then place the house. So it might be a little thing where sometimes that happens, where you have to like be on the lot and then re-enter the code and reactivate the code for that to show up. Don't quote me on that. BB.move objects is a mysterious beast. But this is no, like he changed the white fence, he put another fence there. did he? Hold on. Let me go back in. What was the fence that was there before? Hold on. Because I did say if I use something from a pack you didn't have, then you could technically replace that. So let me go back in and see. I probably should have just real quick stayed on this house because I don't even know if the fence I used is what pack it's from. But I don't know. We shall see. I'm gonna have to take a look. Yeah, let me real quick check that. Unbuild mode item has been removed. Okay. So this was from base game. What fence did I use? It's a base game fence. Is it possible that the game replaced it? Yeah, I did say that. You're right. I did say that. I said you couldn't replace anything there, but I know for some people they didn't have the pack, and so they asked, oh, like I don't have the pack, is it okay if I replace this? And I definitely did say that if you don't have the game, actually it's from base game. Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Thank you for pointing that out, Goldie. That's important. But let me place Miwasaki's house back down. Yes, let's place that back down. And as soon as Miwasaki's house replaces again, we're gonna read the story to her house, and then we will tour it. It might take longer for this to place now because I placed it from the old screen, which I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have went back into the lot and then placed it, but it's okay. We're here now. Come on, game, place my house. Oh, I'm so glad you poured your heart into all of these. I can tell everybody worked so hard on this, so everybody's effort has not gone unnoticed. I promise you that. Oh, Tom, don't say that. Don't say that. It's cutthroat. It really is. It's cutthroat. So this is Miyazaki's house. So we're gonna go ahead and facts or facts, I imagine. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I have to keep things fair. So it's not fair if somebody did something against the rules and somebody else followed the rules. You know what I mean? Because if they were allowed to change something and another person didn't because the rules said you couldn't, it's not fair to say, okay, well, you know what I mean? It's you know, it's the rule. And so many people entered, so I can't really give a whole lot of leeway on the rules because, you know, if somebody followed the rules and somebody didn't, even though you guys did so amazing, it's like, rules are rules. But anyway, this is the description. This one was for sure my weirdest interior designing gig. The mad scientist, Gert Bonks, is the owner and wanted everything perfect before his daughters returned home. Rumor has it, he's developing some kind of machine or medicine to help us take our furry friends back. And talking about them, this man has both cats and dogs, so don't mind it's a mess here and there. Wish I could have checked what's behind that black door on the second floor. Well, hope he likes it. So, Miyazaki did stories in character as the designer for all the houses that they designed, which I so appreciated because it made it just so much fun. But this is the interior of the house, and honestly, my favorite. Well, first of all, I love the color scheme of this bedroom. This is just so. This is so modern. I feel like I never made bedrooms that look like this. I feel like this is a type of like modern bedroom that EA tries to make and then they fail at because then they look empty and awful. And then I love the side moment of this side pull. Like nearly everybody did a side pull, which is just so interesting to me because when I first did the shelf of this house, I like didn't envision there being a pull here. And I'm like, no, good instincts, everybody. But quite honestly, my favorite aspect of this house was just the originality of what they did with this room. They turned it into like a mad scientist lab. And like just the contrast of this room with everything else up here, like you would never suspect that like a mad scientist lab is up here because this is a very, you know, pleasant looking bedroom here, as well as this. It's all very normal. It's all like, don't look behind the curtain. There's nothing to see here. And then you get to this room, which I imagine it's like the only room that's got like a black door. It's got a black door. And I imagine it being locked at all times. And it's just like a mad scientist laboratory, which I just appreciated the story and how it came together. It's so good. It's so good. But anyway, the winner. So, I'm gonna have to be straight with you guys with this house. For this house. I had a winner for this house, but it was just pointed out to me that the house changed something that was against the rules. And you are correct, Otah, that the fence does not make the house. You're right. But I like because so many people entered, I have to give preference to the people who follow the rules to a T. Like it's just like if you like in school, right? Where you're giving specific directions to do certain things. Like I'll give you an example for like when you're applying to college. They're looking for reasons to not accept you because they just get so many applicants. So if you don't write the essay the way that they want you to, if you don't submit the right materials for your transcript, you could be like the best student there was ever with a 4.0 GPA and like a million activities and extracurriculars and just like the most stellar human being that ever human beings, right? But if you do the wrong, if you don't follow the directions, then you're giving them a reason to be like, oh, on to the next person. We've just got too many people, so they're looking to eliminate people. So that's why it's so important, you guys, to, you know, read the instructions. And that's also the reason why when I did the video where I explained the instructions, I let you guys know if you're confused about anything in the rules, or if you want to do something and you don't know if it's allowed, please ask me in the comment section and I will respond. And there were quite a few people who responded in the comments with follow-up questions of, can I do this? Can I do that? And some of it I said, yep, you can do that. And others of it I said no. But what saved them when they made their house from being eliminated instantly was that they asked if they could do something and they got the no, they just didn't do it. So super important. So just for the future, if I do another one of these, if you have a question of like, hey, can I change this fence? Can I move this wall? Can I add this statue or whatnot? Just ask me and I will tell you, because I don't want to have to disqualify people on technicalities. It doesn't make me feel good. So like, please know that. But with all that said and done, no, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's okay. With all that said and done, the winner for this house is Miyazaki, because I just adored the story, and they did such an original take for this house. But I do want to mention that both Garlia and Otav's house, beautiful, beautiful. If they followed the rules to a T, would have been incredible contenders. But with that being said, because I got so many entries for this contest, and there were just, I just didn't sit well for me to just have 3 winners. So I know I started the stream saying there's 3 winners, 3 codes, that's it. There's actually not. So the surprise reveal of this whole stream is there's actually a 4th code I'm giving away. So there's 4 winners today, you guys. And I wanted to give code number 4 to my favorite house that was submitted, regardless of rules. And my favorite house that was submitted, just absolutely incredible. My favorite house was Otov_Cs. So I'm gonna plop his down, or theirs down. I have to remember. Let me know your pronouns, you guys. Let me make sure I'm saying your pronouns right. That's so important to me. But Otav's we looked at on stream, and this one wasn't something. I think I noticed it right away that they moved some things, so it wasn't like a huge thing or a tiny thing where it's like, oh, they did that, and they're instantly disqualified. They moved quite a bit of things around. All the moves made sense. They were just against the rules, and I couldn't count this house to win because they changed the layout, which was a very clear rule violation. But it's my favorite house out of everything that was submitted. And I'm like, it doesn't feel right to me that this house would go home with nothing. So I'm going to give it an honorable mention win and give it a 4th additional code. Otav. This house is my favorite house, and it's going to go in several of my saves because it's just so good. You moved the kitchen, which was against the rules. But it makes so much more sense in this corner over here. So I'm like, he broke the rules, but he technically made it better, and I can't knock that. It's so good. The pool is just so good. This over here, like, if you guys rewatch the stream of when I toured your builds, my reaction to seeing this for the first time was just like a whole lot of me oohing, awing, and wowing, and it was like nothing topped just how blown away I was by this house from all the other entries I saw. And I'm like, it just has to win something. It has to win something. So that is why I'm giving you a special additional code. I hope you're still in chat, Otav, to hear that you got a code too. But Otav, you got my honorable mention win. If I had another code to give out, which I don't because all 4 of these codes is gonna do me $100. If I had another code to give out for an honorable mention, I would give it to you, Garlia, because I loved your house for this. It just, unfortunately, violated the rules. But I wish I could give you another code. But Otav, go ahead and friend me on Origin and add Dream Home Decorator to your wish list so I can gift it to you, or add the game pack of your choice to your wish list so I can gift that to you. And if you have this pack already and you want to give it to somebody else, there's not another game pack you want, I believe we're following each other on Twitter, so reach out to me there in the DMs and we can arrange for that to happen. You didn't cause any trouble. You didn't cause any trouble. You didn't at all. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But this is so much fun, you guys. I'm so glad that you guys had fun participating in this. I wish I could gift everybody everything, but then I would be broke. Then I would be broke. So, I wish I could, but until the next giveaway, guys, thank you everyone for participating. Please follow everyone in the gallery who submitted a house for this. Everybody did such an amazing job. And just, let them know how amazing they are. Just give them a like on the gallery, download their gallery houses. Just let them know how amazing. But thank you so much for everyone participating. We've been streaming for a little bit over an hour now, but we're gonna go ahead and call this a stream. Everyone who has won, please go ahead and friend me on Origin. And if you are wanting to gift your win to somebody else in the form of the Dream Home Decorator pack to somebody else, please head on over to Twitter. My handle is @itsobgem on Twitter, and I will be putting that back into the chat so that you guys can see it. It's @obgem on Twitter. And head over there and friend me and contact me in the DM so we can arrange for whichever friend you want to have it if there's not a game pack that you want in the place of Dream Home Decorator if you already have it. But that is it, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. You've all been a lovely, lovely audience. I appreciate it. But we're going to call it a night, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye!